Look, the system is designed to keep you broke, tired, and addicted to a paycheck that barely covers your rent. Most of you are out here working 40 hours a week just to buy stuff you do not need to impress people you do not even like. And here's the kicker: while you are busy stressing over the price of eggs, the top 1% are watching their assets compound while they sleep. I get it, because 4 years ago, I was exactly where you are. I had $0 in my bank account and a mountain of anxiety about the future. I thought the only way out was to gamble on some random crypto coin or trade options like a degenerate. Oh shit, I remember losing $3,000 in a single afternoon because I thought I was smarter than the market. That was my wake-up call. The reality is that wealth is not about that one big hit. It is about the boring, consistent actions that nobody wants to talk about. Everyone wants the Lamborghini, but nobody wants the 5 years of driving a beat-up Toyota and eating home-cooked meals. If you want to get to that first $120,000, you have to stop acting like you have already made it. Let us talk about the truth of the current economy in 2026. Inflation is not just a headline. It is a silent thief eating your purchasing power every single second. If your money is just sitting in a savings account earning 0.01%, you are losing money. You are literally paying the bank to hold your cash while they lend it out and make 10 times more than you. It is time to stop being a victim of the system and start being a shareholder of the global economy. My journey from 0 to 120,000 was not a straight line. It was 70% discipline, 20% strategy, and 10% just staying out of my own way. I started by living below my means, and I mean really below my means. I kept my expenses at the same level as when I was a broke college student, even as my income grew. This is called avoiding lifestyle creep, and it is the closest thing to a superpower you can have. Every time I got a raise or a bonus, I did not buy a new phone or a better car. I moved that money straight into my brokerage account before I even had the chance to miss it. Now, let us get into the actual numbers and the portfolio that changed everything for me. I stopped trying to pick the next Tesla or Nvidia and started buying the entire market. Here's the deal: 70% of my portfolio goes into VOO, which is the Vanguard SP500 ETF. This gives you a piece of the 500 largest companies in America. When Apple, Microsoft, or Amazon win, I win. Then I put 20% into SHD, which is the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF. This is my cash flow machine. These are boring companies that pay you just for owning them. As those dividends grow, they buy more shares from me, creating a snowball effect that is impossible to stop. The last 10% goes into VUG, which is the Vanguard Growth ETF. This is my aggressive play for more upside, focusing on tech and innovation. This 70-20 to 10 split is simple, it is effective, and it requires zero technical analysis or staring at charts all day. You do not need to be a Wall Street genius to make this work. You just need to be consistent. Look, I know it feels slow at first. When you only have $1,000 in your account, an 8% return is only $80. It feels like it is not even worth the effort. But once you hit $100,000, that same 8% is $8,000. That is more than many people save in an entire year of working. The first $100,000 is a total grind because you are doing all the heavy lifting. After that, your money starts doing the work for you. It is like pushing a giant boulder up a hill. It is exhausting at the start, but once it reaches the top and starts rolling down, you just have to stay out of the way. But here is where most people fail. They lack the emotional control to stay the course. When the market drops 10%, they panic and sell everything. They listen to the doom and gloom on the news and think the world is ending. Listen to me. A red market is a clearance sale for the wealthy when everyone else is crying and selling their shares. That is when you should be buying as much as you possibly can. Wealth is transferred from the impatient to the patient during times of fear. You have to develop a cold, calculated relationship with your money. Stop looking at your portfolio every day. Stop worrying about what the Fed is doing this week. Focus on your savings rate and your time in the market. I stopped hanging out with people who spent their weekends at expensive bars complaining about their bosses. I started surrounding myself with people who talked about assets, cash flow, and long-term goals. Your environment is either a wind at your back or a weight on your ankles. Choose wisely. The 2020s have been a wild ride, and 2026 is no different. There will always be a reason to wait. There will always be a crisis around the corner. If you wait for the perfect time to start, you will be waiting until you are 65 and full of regret. Start with $10. Start with $100. Just start. The version of you 5 years from now will either thank you or blame you. I am here to tell you that it is possible to break the cycle. You do not need a rich dad or a lucky break. You need a plan and the guts to stick to it when it gets boring. Because wealth is boring. It is a series of small, smart decisions repeated over a long period of time. If you are looking for excitement, go to a casino. If you are looking for freedom, follow the math. I am not here to sell you a dream. I am here to give you a roadmap, but I cannot drive the car for you. You have to be the one to put your foot on the gas. Stay hungry, stay patient, and stop playing small. The world is full of opportunities if you have the eyes to see them and the capital to seize them. Let us get after it. I will see you guys in the next one. Look. Let us dive deeper into the psychology of this whole thing. Why is it that everyone knows they should save and invest, but almost nobody actually does it? It is because our brains are wired for instant gratification. Our ancestors needed to eat whatever they found immediately because they did not know when the next meal was coming. But in 2026, that same instinct is why you buy a $1,000 phone on a credit card you cannot afford. You have to rewire your brain to value future freedom more than current status. Every time I buy a share of VO, I am not just buying a stock, I am buying a piece of my future where I do not have to answer to anyone. I am buying days, weeks, and years of my life back. Think about your hourly wage. If you make $30 an hour and you buy a $150 pair of shoes, those shoes cost you 5 hours of your life. Is that pair of shoes worth 5 hours of sitting in an office or standing on your feet? When you start looking at expenses in terms of time, your spending habits change overnight. I also want to touch on the idea of being a contrarian. The crowd is almost always wrong when it comes to money. The crowd buys at the top because they are afraid of missing out. The crowd sells at the bottom because they are terrified of losing what is left. To get results that 99% of people do not have, you have to do what 99% of people are not willing to do. That means saying no to social pressure. That means being okay with being the boring friend who does not have the newest car. I remember when I hit my first $50,000, I felt like I was on top of the world, but I still lived in a tiny apartment with a roommate. My friends were out taking loans for BMWs while I was putting $2,000 a month into the market. They thought I was cheap. I knew I was becoming free. Fast forward to today, and some of those same friends are still living paycheck to paycheck, stressed about every bill. Meanwhile, my dividends are starting to cover my basic needs. That is the power of the 70-20 to 10S strategy. Let us break down why I chose those specific percentages again, because it is crucial. 70% in VO is your foundation. It is the engine that drives your net worth forward. You are betting on the collective ingenuity of the best companies in the world. Even if one company fails, the index rebalances and keeps going up over the long term. 20% in SHD is your stability and your future income. During market downturns, dividend stocks tend to be less volatile. Plus, getting that notification that a dividend was paid into your account is the best motivation in the world. It is tangible proof that your money is working for you. 10% in VUG is your turbocharger. It is where you capture the massive gains from the tech sector. In 2026, technology is moving faster than ever with AI and automation. You want to have exposure to that growth without betting your entire future on it. This balance allows you to sleep at night while still outperforming the average person. And let us talk about debt for a second. If you have high interest credit card debt, that is an emergency. You cannot out. Invest a 25% interest rate, pay that off before you even think about the stock market. Think of debt as a hole in your boat. You can row as hard as you want, but if you do not plug the hole, you are eventually going to sink. Once you are debt-free, that is when the real game begins. I also want you to stop listening to the people who say you need $1 million to start feeling wealthy. Wealth is a ratio, not a number. If you spend $3,000 a month and your investments generate $3,000 a month, you are wealthy. You are more wealthy than a CEO who makes $1 million but spends $1.1 million. Focus on increasing the gap between what you earn and what you spend. That gap is your ticket out of the rat race. I am also a big believer in keeping things simple. The financial industry loves to make things sound complicated so they can charge you fees. They talk about alpha, beta, standard deviation, and expense ratios to make you feel like you need a professional. You do not. You need an internet connection and a brokerage account. The simpler your strategy is, the more likely you are to stick to it. Complexity is the enemy of execution. If your plan requires you to check the news every hour, it is a bad plan. If your plan requires you to be a genius, it is a bad plan. My plan requires me to be a robot. I set up an automatic transfer every Monday morning. The money goes from my bank to my brokerage and buys my ETFs regardless of what the price is. This is called dollar cost averaging, and it is how you win over decades. You buy more shares when prices are low and fewer shares when prices are high. It takes the emotion out of the equation, and emotion is what kills most investors. We are our own worst enemies. We get greedy when things are good and fearful when things are bad. By automating the process, I am protecting myself from my own human nature. I also want to encourage you to stay curious. Read the books, watch the videos, but always verify the information with your own logic. The economic landscape in 2026 is shifting. The old ways of just working a job for 40 years and getting a pension are gone. You are the CEO of your own life. You are responsible for your own retirement. Nobody is coming to save you. Not the government, not your boss, not your parents. That might sound scary, but it is actually incredibly empowering. It means you have the control. You have the power to change your trajectory starting today. I spent so much time in my early 20s waiting for a sign or a lucky break. The lucky break was the moment I realized that nobody cared more about my money than I did. That was the moment I started taking it seriously. I started tracking every dollar. I started reading 10K reports and understanding how businesses actually make money. I realized that the stock market is not a casino. It is a marketplace of human progress. When you buy a share of a company, you are becoming a partner with the smartest people on the planet. You are benefiting from their hard work, their innovation, and their sleepless nights. It is the most efficient way to build wealth ever created. But you have to have the stomach for it. You have to be able to see your account balance drop by 20% and not feel a thing. In fact, you should feel excited because it means everything is on sale. I know I keep saying that, but it is the hardest thing for people to internalize. Our brains see a falling stock price and associate it with danger. You have to train yourself to associate it with opportunity. Look at the history of the SP 500. It has survived world wars, pandemics, financial crises, and political chaos. Through it all, it has continued to trend upward because human beings are driven to improve their lives. As long as people want better lives, companies will find ways to make money, and as long as companies make money, shareholders will get paid. It is that simple. Do not overthink it. Do not try to be the hero who finds the next hidden gem. Just be the person who owns the whole forest. I want to wrap this up by saying that the first $120,000 changed my life. Not because of what I could buy, but because of how it made me feel. It gave me the confidence to take risks. It gave me the ability to say no to things that did not align with my values. It gave me peace of mind, and that is what I want for you. I want you to experience the freedom of not having to worry about money. It takes time, it takes sacrifice, and it takes a lot of discipline. But I can promise you, it is worth it. Every single dollar you save today is a seed you are planting for your future. Keep planting, keep watering, and eventually you will have a forest. Stop checking the weather and start planting. The time is going to pass anyway. You might as well end up rich at the end of it. I am here with you, cheering you on. We are all in this together. The road to wealth is long, but it is well paved. You just have to keep walking. I will be here every week sharing what I am learning and how I am growing. Let us make 2026 the year that everything changed for you. No more excuses, no more I will start next month. The time is now. Go open that account, set up that transfer, make the commitment. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to the future version of you who is counting on you to make the right moves today. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and as always, stay hungry for more. There is so much room at the top, and I want to see you there. Peace out and take care of your business. The market is open. The opportunity is there. Go get yours. And remember, the best investment you can ever make is in yourself. Education, health, and mindset are the pillars that support your financial success. Do not neglect them. Work on your skills, take care of your body, and keep your mind sharp. The money is just a byproduct of the person you become. Become the type of person who is capable of managing and growing wealth. Become the type of person who stays calm under pressure. Become the type of person who thinks in decades, not days. That is the real secret. It is not about the numbers on the screen. It is about the character of the person behind the screen. I am still learning, still growing, and still making mistakes. But I am moving forward every single day. And I want you to move forward with me. Let us build something that lasts. Let us create a life of abundance and freedom. It starts with one decision. Make it today. I will see you in the next video where we will dive even deeper into the specifics of dividend growth and how to analyze individual stocks if you are into that kind of thing. But for now, stick to the plan. Stick to the 70 to 20 to 10. Trust the process. The results will come. They always do for those who stay the course. Goodbye for now, but not for long. Keep grinding, keep believing. The first 120,000 is just the beginning. Wait until you see what happens next. The math of compounding is truly magical. Once it picks up speed, you are closer than you think. Just keep going. Never give up on your financial goals. The struggle is temporary, the freedom is permanent. Remember that when things get tough, remember why you started. Your future self is waiting for you. Go meet them. Okay, that is enough for today. Go take action, seriously. Stop watching and start doing. Action is the only thing that produces results. Talk is cheap, execution is everything. See you soon. Stay clear, stay real. This is the way, the only way. Let us go. Look, if you are still here, it means you are serious. You are the small percentage of people who actually finish what they start. That trait alone will put you ahead of 90% of the population. Most people have the attention span of a goldfish. They jump from one thing to another, never seeing anything through to completion. But you stayed, you listened, you are absorbing the logic. Now you just need to apply it. Knowledge without application is useless. It is like having a map but never leaving your house. I want you to leave the house. I want you to get on the road. I want you to feel the wind in your face as you move toward your goals. It is a beautiful thing to see your net worth grow month after month. It gives you a sense of control over your destiny that nothing else can. Money is not the most important thing in life, but it affects everything that is important. It affects where you live, what you eat, the healthcare you can afford, and how you can help others. When you have money, you have options. When you do not have money, you have obligations. Choose options every single time. I am currently looking at my own portfolio as I speak. It is not always green. Some days it is very red, but I do not care about today. I care about 2036, 2046, and beyond. When you have a long time horizon, the daily noise becomes irrelevant. It is like looking at a mountain from a distance. You do not see the small rocks and bumps, you just see the massive peak. Keep your eyes on the peak. Do not get distracted by the pebbles under your feet. You are going to face criticism. People will tell you that you are missing out on life because you are saving. They will call you boring. They will try to lure you back into the cycle of consumerism. Stay strong. Their opinions do not pay your bills. Their validation does not buy your freedom. The only person you need to answer to is the person you see in the mirror. Are you being honest with yourself? Are you doing the work? If the answer is yes, then nothing else matters. I am proud of you for even considering this path. It is the path less traveled, but it is the one that leads to the best destination. I will be here to guide you, to share my wins and my losses, and to keep it real with you every step of the way. No corporate scripts, no hidden agendas. Just one person helping another person navigate the crazy world of finance in 2026. We are the new generation of investors. We are smarter, faster, and more connected than those who came before us. Let us use those advantages to build a better future for ourselves and our families. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. You have already taken several steps by watching this. Now take the biggest step of all, put your money to work. Make it your slave so you do not have to be a slave to it. That is the ultimate goal. That is why we do what we do. I am going to finish my coffee now and get back to work. I suggest you do the same. Not the coffee part, the work part. Unless you like coffee, then by all means have a cup, but then get to it. The market is waiting, your future is waiting, the clock is ticking. Make every second count. I will see you in the next one, for real this time. Peace. Listen, I want to double down on why the next few years are going to be a massive transfer of wealth. The middle class is getting squeezed like never before. The gap between those who own assets and those who just trade time for money is becoming a canyon. You have to decide which side of that canyon you want to be on. Being on the right side requires a total shift in how you view the world. It requires you to look at every dollar as a soldier in your army. Are you sending your soldiers out to die on useless purchases, or are you sending them out to capture more soldiers for you? This is the mindset of the $120,000 club. Once you have that six-figure cushion, your stress levels drop and your clarity goes up. You start seeing opportunities where others see obstacles. You start thinking about legacies, not just the next weekend. This is not just about the numbers in your bank account. It is about the person you become in the process of earning them. The discipline you build while saving your first $10,000 will be the same discipline that carries you to $1,000,000. The habits do not change, only the zeros do, so stop waiting for a miracle. Stop waiting for the market to be perfect. The market is never perfect, and the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. I am done talking for today. Go take that first step. Go change your life. I am out. Stay clear. Stay real.